we don't know what's going on with Woodward. It's done. Woodward West is sadly done. Came to an end. R.I.P. Woodward, man. You know, that was home to a lot of people in skateboarding, home to even me personally. I filmed with Woodward for a good, say, 5-6 years of my life. And, you know, Camp Woodward has brought a lot to me, not only money-wise, but like professionalism. The camp brought so much more than just skateboarding and action sports. It was truly an experience. Like it was an experience like no other. You can't really get that experience anywhere else. And these guys, Sneaky Powder here, they came in and, you know, destroyed the whole company, if you ask me. Blatantly disregarded all the previous employees, including myself, that have been working there for years and years and years and years. You know, they straight up kicked everybody to the curb. Ultimately kicking everybody to the curb and choosing not to support the campers, the supervisors, the staff members that were there from the start was a horrible move, Powder. That's just me speaking personally. You kind of put everybody in a tough spot. Let me give you guys a backstory. While I was working there, the year that Powder was coming in, pretty much all the staff was rotated around. There was nobody previous. It was probably me and the homegirl Jess that worked in the canteen and a couple other people that actually made camp what it was. They pretty much all were gone. We're talking about Jake Kinley. We're talking about, you know, I don't want to sit there and give out all the names, but man, they were gone. So the kids, they were left with the craziest situation. You got to remember, these kids aren't stupid. They're not stupid by a long shot. And a lot of these kids built personal connections with the staff members, fully enjoying the experience that was had at hand. You know, most of these kids would remember some of these staff members for the rest of their lives. It wasn't just a one-time thing. It wasn't just a, oh yeah, you know, that one guy, yeah, he taught me at camp. Like, no, like, you for sure remember every bit of camp. I kind of remember every face. I remember every individual that actually made an impact at my life at camp. And, you know, I was grateful for every single second of it. But these niggas is fucking up, y'all. These niggas is fucking up, bro. They kicked everybody out. Like, everybody. Decided to put every staff member from Powder into Camp Woodward West. Now that didn't make any sense either, because you had staff members that never ran a Camp Woodward. They never ran Woodward West. They're not used to these kids, you know, so the kids start getting treated badly. You know, a lot of kids just started, you know, falling off and not wanting to come back to camp because the whole experience switched up. You got to remember, this is a camp that was around for a couple decades, and you know that they built up a lot of relationships with these kids. So, you know, the kids ultimately are the naysayers, or yeah, I want to go, or no, I don't want to go, pop. So, you know, when you kind of took away the whole reason why a kid was going to camp, you know what I'm saying? There could be, you know, a certain staff member that they just make them comfortable. They just understand them. They, you know what I'm saying? They learn, you know what I'm saying? You know, that was the biggest mistake ever. You killed the inner core of the camp. Secondly, Powder, listen to me when I say this. You fucked up. You took away the number one customer base out of the camp. This doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why y'all would do this, and you know what I'm saying? I could probably get some inside information and figure out why it happened. But, you know, I kind of don't care for it because it was stupid. It was a stupid ass idea. And I don't care how much money they were offering. The amount of money that you killed for yourself in the long run, just for you to get funded the money that you never had before. Because I'm gonna tell you like this. I know Gary Ream personally. I talked to him personally. I know DeMonte Tillman personally. These are my friends. Bronte, Ramirez, personally, like these are my homies. When it come down to it, the number one reason why camp was the females. It was the girls. Not to say that all these skaters and everybody, all these kids should just come to camp for females. No, it helped them grow as kids, as individuals, you know, as just human beings. Having gymnastics, gymnast trainers, cheerleaders, dance as well, that helped a lot of people. That helped a lot of people. These kids don't even spend enough time around other kids. These kids don't even spend enough time around anybody on the outside of their parents. So the fact that there is other girls and boys that they can go ahead and get along with at the camp, overall top tier experience for kids in general. Trust me, I've seen a lot of boys turn to men just off the fact that they went to Woodward and they were able to talk to a couple cute girls that were sitting there watching them skate and all this, that, and the third. That was dope for the environment. Now, anything inappropriate and stuff like that, of course, we were putting our foot down on everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave that shit up out of the whole question. Honestly, like being at Woodward, you have so much of an experience that you don't even think about inappropriate shit that much, you know? Or you don't even think about the kids being inappropriate that much. I mean, you know, there's obviously kids that would try it, but you know, other than that, like, that's just what it was, bro. Like, you're at an action sports camp. There's 1,000,005 things to do other than worry about the female. So I don't understand why whatever funding they were looking for, I don't know why they had to remove the females, but they removed their biggest customer base. That was the biggest customer base. When I was going to the camp, there wasn't the most skaters at the camp, even though there was a fuck ton of them. Surprisingly, it wasn't scooterers that was the most. It was cheerleading. It was gymnasts. Cheerleading and gymnasts led the camp in sales for years. For years on years on years on years on years. So the fact that they sat up and just decided to just go ahead and say, all right, we're kicking every female out and we're not having no more females at camp. That was the worst idea ever. That was so stupid to the point where you guys have a whole parkour section. It was so stupid, in fact, to the point where you got pros coming out now and there's nothing for them to do besides run around and play around on the parkour. On our downtime, do you not know what we did? We sat at the pool and we talked to girls. We went to the we went to the gym room, jumping on the trampoline with females, bro. The girls just made the experience 10 times better. I don't know what you think about in life in general, but we don't give a fuck about a female being around us while we're doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't that big of a deal to the point where it was like, okay, remove the females. So I don't know who had a pull or a vote in that situation. You guys need to fire him ASAP. You guys need to you need to crucify him ASAP. I hope you guys already did. You know what I'm saying? Because that was ridiculous. Like, what are you doing getting rid of females like the natural way of man at a man camp? This is I'm gonna tell you like this. There was so much, you had to learn qualities of being a man at camp, because at camp, let's say you were a staff member. You being a staff member, the staff members start at 16 years old. Being a staff member at camp came with real responsibility. Yeah, I get to be here and skate for free and all this other stuff, but I had certain times where I had to be at certain stations. I had certain requirements I had to fulfill. Me, I worked on a digital media team, so I was their digital media lead for everything. So regardless, I had to film kids. I had to make sure I was turning in my clips on time. I had to make sure all the footage was right. I had to make sure I had all my footage by the end of the week. It was certain responsibilities that came with, you know, the camp experience. And, you know, once you guys remove the whole camp experience, there's pretty much nothing for kids to sit there and work for it to be like, yeah, I'm gonna be at camp for free. So you know what happened? The sales plummeted. The sales dropped. The sales fucking drastically dropped. The sales depleted. The sales were gone. No more sales. You know why? It's the kids, bro. Kids first, not the fucking adults. But that was my spill on it, and just me being a actual employee of Camp Woodward and used to actually work for Camp Woodward, and still actually do. I still can go out Woodward East and enjoy Pennsylvania and stuff like that. But the experience that I had at West, because I'm from California, I actually know these kids that were on the TV shows and dealing with what they were dealing with. I know the whole situation, the whole ins and outs. It's bothersome. It bothers me to this day. You know what I'm saying? They really ruined a good camp, a good community, a good business, a good fucking pillar in the community. That Camp Woodward West has done so much for the community. It doesn't make any sense for it to be shut down. Point blank, period. That's all for this video, man. I'll get back with you guys next time. This is Real Shit TV, where we keep shit real.